What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So I want to put this out there because not everyone can watch a stream, right? And I just finished streaming for about like an hour and a half, but there was only one game played, and it was a microcosm of everything that is wrong with this game, which I explain in detail in this video, followed after the game by a back and forth with essentially three players, right, that represent a minority but also represent a problem with this game. And each of them are kind of a different category of players that are the reason why development companies like Strikers get away with what they do. And I'll explain what I mean. So, we all know that the goalies are broken. And they went from being terrible, right? Because Strikers has no idea how to make anything balance, right? They go from one extreme to the next when they try to quote unquote fix something. And along the way, they'll essentially a lot of times, if not every time, break more things. So the game is pretty much dog crap right now because you can absolutely destroy an opponent, right? But tie the game 0-0, which happens a lot, or win a game 1-0, or even lose a game 1-0 if a player decides to use exploits or use, some of the nonsense that makes this not football. So I'll explain what I mean by that. There's this game that you're watching right now in which I destroy my opponent, right? Now you can go watch it yourself and see what I mean. The only reason the stats didn't show it like they do in most of the games where this happens is because after he scored a goal, which I predicted, I said, this is supposedly a fan of the channel. He says he's not a troll. Sometimes it seems like he is, but he's definitely an opponent that you can outplay the whole time and then lose 2-1-0 from a 30-yard shot. And that's what he does. I think I said finesse shot, but he ends up doing the Ronaldo 30-yard nonsense shot. And I remember because I played him before, and he was pretty much the same way. I called him out for being a rat. He's like, no, I'm a fan of the channel, this and that. But if you watch this game closely, he does go for a glitch through ball. And you can tell, if you know, you know. And then he's one of those players that is terrible at breaking down defenses, pretty much terrible at skill-wise at football. But he's good at, just like everybody pretty much, at running around and shooting that 30-yard shot that is the only thing that the goalkeepers can't save, which I refuse to do. As I've said 100 times, it's not going to help anything doing that. For one, there's no point. I could just tell you guys, I don't have to make content about the game. Hey, just try to take your Cristiano Ronaldo, get the ball in an open area. If you can't, just cut left and right until you get him in an open area, and then shoot the ball 30 yards out. If you can, make it a one-time shot, or if not, you can even better yet, actually, make it a snapshot, which means just take a touch, then shoot the ball. From 30 yards out, boom. Just do that all game. But that's not football. That's not realistic. And why I said that this is a microcosm of what's wrong is that even if we as players could make this game fun and could play real football, which I had a game this morning. If you look at my previous stream, just a short stream because then there was nobody playing, literally, you could see, okay, that could be good football if the exploits aren't used. But the problem is the player base is not going to adhere to that. And so you either have a rat that's too coward to say he's a rat, or if not, at the very least, you have a player that is too obsessed with winning, right, for whatever reason, that he's like that is too obsessed with winning, despite having a full green team like me, despite not needing any of these stupid rewards they give. He plays a football simulator to get outplayed the whole time, as you're seeing some examples here, give up chances like he's giving up, which it's not his fault that UFL mess up the goalkeepers and that he's able to stay in the game. However, instead of trying to play and get better and break down defenses, he just takes his 30-yard shots. So what will happen is, you see here, this is the shot he wins on, and if you go watch the stream, you'll actually hear me call it. And what pursues after this is a back and forth between me and this player, as well as two other people that are literally like on cloud nine. It seems like they are just so far detached from the reality of this game. And the bottom line is, the reason why I keep covering the game, no matter how negative it may sound, is because this is the only way to possibly get the truth out there that Strikers can hopefully get to the point where they have to listen to, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it like a lot of content creators. I'm not going to be some liar to hopefully get more views and more people play the game or try to manipulate people into playing a trash game. I'm going to call it how it is. And maybe, just maybe, it will spread enough to where players say enough of this and Strikers has to do something about it. Or at the very least, has to answer to all the rats. So then even if there are these problems that Strikers can't remove from the game, maybe they can get rid of the rats. I mean, I feel like we took a step in the right direction with this reporting thing. But once we show that we're not just accepting that we want these players dealt with so we can play the game that you provided, even though there's all these broken things in it, we don't want to just sit here and play against players using those broken things to get around being terrible. And since those players exist and won't just play football and try to get better, such as this player here, we need them to get rid of the rats, period. So it doesn't even matter if you want to call this here player a rat or not. The bottom line is it doesn't change the fact of the matter, which is the only way to potentially make this game playable and an actual competition in football rather than a competition in exploits is to speak loudly and spread the word to Strikers that we will not accept this, because without players, there is no game. The best case scenario, we get rid of the exploits. However, with Strikers showing us that they may not have the ability to get rid of these exploits, the next best thing we could do is get rid of the rats. So let's see if we can get that done. Peace.